brilliant, caring, and passionate about everything she does. Kimberly attended Northwestern University, where she not only met the man that would later become her father, my father, my father and her husband, but she also received a major in journalism. And no, she did not help write this. She has served as the Regional Bylaws Chair, Regional Editor, Regional Secretary-Treasurer, and Regional Director of our mighty Midwestern region, which you probably already knew that. In addition, she was the past National Corresponding Secretary and is our current National Editor. When the original KG isn't traveling or on a conference call for Jack and Jill, she works as the Vice President of Communications at Northwestern Mutual, which is the nation's largest direct provider of life insurance. Her service and dedication contributed to her being named one of the 25 influential Black women in business by the Network Journal in 2014. She was also honored as Savoy Magazine's top 100 most influential Blacks in corporate America, as well as Savoy's top influential women in corporate America in 2012. Most recently, she received the Women Worth Watching Award from Profiles in Diversity Journal. Kimberly is also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the Lanes Incorporated. When she isn't working, traveling, on a conference call, or getting an award, Kimberly is working tirelessly with other mothers from my school to help the different cultures come together. For the past 15 years, I have had the honor of calling this woman my mother, my proofreader, my doctor, my inspiration, and my #1 fan on the court and on the track. Without further ado, here's my role model, Kimberly Good.
Man, there's nothing cooler than having your child introduce you like that. Man, I didn't help her write it. I didn't know what she was going to say. I loved it, but she did call me Kimberly a lot, didn't she? Had to correct that. But nonetheless, I am so proud to be a mom, and I am so grateful that being a mom is what allowed me to become connected to Jack and Jill of America Incorporated. There is no more important duty, no greater honor than to influence a life in that way. So I'm very proud of my 3 children and ever grateful to my handsome husband who helped me make it possible. All right then, let's get off of that. So good evening, everyone. I appreciate the teens inviting me to speak to you tonight. And I think they do that because they know that I respect that they want to keep the night short so they can get to their dance. So they're expecting that I'm not going to talk too long, and I'm going to try to honor that. You are here a part of a celebration, and I welcome you all, and thank you for being here. This is the last, and I would dare say the best, of 7 conferences of this kind that take place across the nation. You have seen just a glimpse of the power of Jack and Jill of America Incorporated. From coast to coast, we have been convening talented young people like what you see, like who you see here today, conducting business using parliamentary procedure, handling their business, doing community service to put an imprint on every community across this nation where we have convened. And they've been competing in competitions. You heard a glimpse of our seniors, our outstanding seniors that were being recognized. That's just one of several competitions that our teens participate in. And I know that we have many men and women of faith in our audience, and we know that there's a scripture that says that if they keep quiet, the rocks will cry out, right? And I know we have already saluted the class of 2016, but I want us to do it just one more time. And I think that we can do better than the rocks can. We should be thankful for all of these young people. We should be so very proud of you. We love you so much. What you are seeing, ladies and gentlemen, is Jack and Jill of America Incorporated teens creating a narrative about Black youth that is counter to what you see on the evening news, right? We need this to be on the evening news. Our youth are going to college, they're not going to prison. And fortunately, our children are alive. We don't take that for granted. Our children are not hashtags. They're not dying at the hands of the police as we have seen on so many occasions. I want to thank God tonight, children, that you are not Dontre Hamilton, you are not Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Alton Sterling, Orlando Castile, among others. And we call their name because we recognize how sad it is that we know them by name, but we don't really know them by the life that they lived, but we know them all too well by their deaths. So we are blessed, and we are really grateful that you are not among them, but we don't want for 1 minute for us to assemble here dressed as beautifully as we are, to assume that we are immune, or to believe because we're going to nice colleges, we drive fancy cars, we live in big houses, we go to great schools, and yes, we are in Jack and Jill. That doesn't mean we're immune, because as the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice where, young people? Everywhere. Everywhere. It can come knocking on our door. So the story of all those that were needlessly gunned down is our story too. So what are we to think? What are we to feel? What are we to say in times like these? We have asked ourselves that over and over this week. We have cried a lot of tears, and I know I'm not alone in that. And I would suggest that we do exactly what our ancestors did, exactly what every generation before us did, and that is get up. Yes. I suggest that we keep fighting for what's right, that we keep striving for each of our perfect purpose in an imperfect world. So how imperfect is our world? Well, we know that slavery ended 150 years ago. The Civil Rights Act was designed to outlaw unjust treatment, was passed 5 decades ago. But it doesn't take much for us to notice, right, that unjust treatment for Black folks keeps happening, right? So this imperfect world that we live in means that we are in a time of great challenge. But we are also in a time of great opportunity, a time when you, as a generation of emerging leaders, will have a chance to be part of something powerful, something that can make this world a better place for all. Now to do that, you're gonna have some choices to make, and of course, I'm a parent, so I gotta give you a little bit of a talking to. Your parents expect that I would send you with some words of wisdom, so I hope there are some here. So I want you to think about the choices that you make, particularly for our class of 2016 as you leave the nest, so that you can choose wisely as you seek to find and fulfill your perfect purpose. So first I'm going to suggest to you that you need to choose your friends wisely. Who you spend your time with matters. There's a book called The Rhythm of Life, Living Each Day with Passion and Purpose, and the author says this: the people we surround ourselves with either raise or lower our standards. They either help us to become the best version of ourselves, or they encourage us to become a lesser version of ourselves. So as you head to college and you make new friends, make sure that you're building those friendships that don't compromise what you value. As my dad would say, never forget who you are. Never forget whose you are. Surround yourself with people who have similar values, who want similar things out of life. And don't forget all my social media buddies, and some of you guys are on social media with me, that true friends are not necessarily followers. They are not necessarily those who like and retweet and post and share all of your information. Friends are people who are there for you when you're not in the social media spotlight. They listen when you're sad or lonely. They help you when you're confused or unsure. And most importantly, true friends are your cheerleaders. They are happy when you succeed. They even help you to succeed. And now for the kicker. I want you to really remember this. Young people, you do not need 1,592 of them. Y'all know what I mean. You just need a few good friends. You need a few. I can't believe how many people you guys have as your followers and your fans and all of that. That's wonderful to be connected in so many powerful ways. But don't get it twisted and don't be confused. Those aren't necessarily the people that'll be there when you need them most. So on your journey to realize your perfect purpose in an imperfect world, make sure that you choose your friends wisely. Now, second, I want you to embrace the theme of this conference. It's a beautiful theme. It's so powerful, igniting your passion and racing to excellence. You guys have already demonstrated so much of that in your life already. But answering the call for your life is a big and daunting task that you will be shaping in the weeks and months and years to come. So as you do that, never allow your light to be dimmed by doubters. Be very confident in who you are. Prioritize what matters most to you. Go for it. Dream big dreams. Set lofty goals. And have the audacity to believe that you can achieve them. And even with all the things that are wrong in this world, and there are many, remember that you're blessed to live in a time where we've elected our first Black president. He deserves way more respect than he gives, and we will always give it up for the first Black president. We are also living in a time where we may see a woman rise to that same office. So I would say for those of us who like to see this glass ceiling shattered, barriers are coming down. We have not arrived, but progress is being made, even as some people want to build walls. I'm just gonna let that hang there. So I want you to answer the call for your life as you seek your perfect purpose, and be careful about naysayers. Be careful about even Netflix. Don't be spending all your time on Hulu, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. You guys get the idea, right? I probably lost your parents on that one. But there are a lot of things out there that want to occupy your time, to distract you from your goals. Don't let that happen. Next on your journey to your perfect purpose, I want to encourage you to choose to stand for things that matter. In life, you have to have a point of view. You must choose carefully how and when to use your voice. Nobel Peace Prize winner Elie Wiesel, who recently passed away, said, "We must always take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented." So as you think about the events of this week and all the discussions that have occurred in the aftermath, there's clearly no shortage of causes that you could advocate for. Many may seem very lofty. We can't individually stop police brutality. We can't necessarily individually make the gun laws happen. There's a lot of daunting stuff out there, but there's some straightforward things that you can do. And you've heard it multiple times today, but it's worth saying one more time. The first thing you have to do, if every person in the room who's over 18 has to vote, period. You have to vote, period. So many times we hear from young people, well, I don't like the candidate, or oh, I want to do this, but you gotta vote. Because when you let your voice be heard in that way, that determines who your judges are, who your police officers are, who all of your elected officials that make those policies. So we need you to vote. Locally matters, so we need you to vote at home. For our graduates, when you head to college, find out before you go, what is the process for absentee balloting if you're not going to be home? Find out what you need to do so that the election time doesn't roll around and you are counted out. And for all of our children in the room, there are things that you can do. You can stand up for what's wrong, whether it's bullying, cyberbullying, peer pressure, meanness, any kind of bad choices. Let your voice be heard. Stand for what is right, stand against that which is wrong. Finally, on your journey to your perfect purpose in life, I want you to choose to cherish your family, and that includes all of us, your Jack and Jill family. There's no stronger bond, no greater support system than family. Even though your parents may annoy you, your siblings may harass you, auntie may embarrass you, love us anyway, and cherish that special time that you have. When my parents test me a little bit, because even when you're an adult, your parents can do that to you, I think of what the Bible tells me, and it says, honor thy mother and father, that thy days may be long. So we want to live a long life, honor your parents. So as you think about that, I am so grateful to have my parents here. I'm grateful to have my grandmother here. That means I have 4 generations in the house. And I don't take that for granted. And just like your parents and your family, they have sacrificed a lot to help me be where I am. And so I'm going to ask the children and even our class of 2016 to just join me in standing to your feet and giving a huge rambunctious round of applause for all of your parents and your grandparents and your parent figures that have been so critical. They deserve it. We are proud for all the parent figures. Thank you. They deserve it. They cry for you. They make everything for you. So thank you for that. These are the folks that loved you first, they love you best, and they deserve your praise. So as we prepare to end this conference, we have all reflected on a range of emotions, from frustration, fear, anger, hopelessness, confusion. But it's important that those emotions, while real and valid, do not overshadow the power that actually exists within each of you. And the power really comes not only from your faith and what you've learned and everything that's been instilled in you, but it also comes from your perspective. So I want to end my time before you with a poem that some of you may know. It's called Lost Generation. And you have to read it twice to really understand the power of perspective and how that can help you shape your perfect purpose. So here goes time number one. I am part of a lost generation, and I refuse to believe that I can change the world. I realize this may be a shock, but happiness comes from within is a lie, and money will make me happy. So in 30 years, I will tell my children they are not the most important thing in my life. My employer will know that I have my priorities straight because work is more important than family. And I tell you this, once upon a time, families stayed together, but this will not be true in my era. This is a quick fix society, experts tell me. 30 years from now, I'll be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce. I do not concede that I live in a country of my own making. In my future, environmental destruction will be the norm. No longer can it be said that my peers and I care about this earth. It'll be evident that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It is foolish to presume that there is hope. And all of this will come true unless we reverse it. So let's do that. Let's take that poem and let's reverse it and see the power of perspective and how that can help each one of you find your perfect purpose. And this is how the poem goes in reverse. There is hope. It is foolish to presume that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It will be evident that my peers and I care about this earth. No longer can it be said that environmental destruction will be the norm. In the future, I will live in a country of my own making. I do not concede that 30 years from now, I will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce. Experts tell me this is a quick fix society, but this will not be true in my era. Families stayed together once upon a time, and I will tell you this, family is more important than work. Because I have my priorities straight, my employer will know that they are not the most important thing in my life. So in 30 years, I will tell my children that happiness comes from within, and money makes me happy is a lie. I realize this may be a shock, but I can change the world. I refuse to believe I am part of a lost generation. So class of 2016, Jack and Jill children, leave this conference knowing you are not part of a lost generation. You are not powerless. You are not defeated. Your lives matter. You are diverse. You are destined for greatness. You can change the world. And the changes that you make will enable you to find your perfect purpose and change the world. So teens, this is your time, and we can't wait to see all the good that you will do in our imperfect world as you seek for your perfect purpose. So congratulations, we love you, and God bless you on your journey.